Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Listen to the heartbeat. Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
My assignment: uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
You've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the f*** it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
My eyes, sir. You've never used them before.
We are the basketball Illuminati.
I'm flipping towards, I think probably, yep, here it is. Took me 2 seconds. Mother of Dragons, Chapter 3.
Yo. That's great.
Book. Jeroen Weitzman's author of Tanking to the Top, A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. This, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better person to join us today than Jeroen Weitzman, who has been covering the Mother of Dragons and all of the family drama with the Lakers.
Can I say, Jeroen, I'm
less impressed that that is an apt description given what's happening in the news today. More impressed that oh man, that's what happened in House of the Dragon season 3. You called it, man. You called all of this.
By the way, I'm going to give, I don't remember, Kobe, there was some kind of Kobe might have called her Khaleesi at one point or something, or told her, there was reporting, or told her to go be Khaleesi when she was deciding how to attack the last time some of her siblings attempted to orchestrate some sort of boardroom coup. I mean, that's the wrong phrase.
Yeah, after they signed LeBron James, he sent her a specific congratulatory text message calling her Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, wow. Right?
She's the prince who was promised. She's Rhaenyra.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it feels like this is either Game of Thrones or Succession, or maybe it is just this hybrid super Game of Thrones, Game of Succession
winning
story,
time too,
right?
Yeah, I always say, because Succession, it's like Succession, but sort of became a cliche the same way like Uber, but for this, right? And that became a cliche in how you describe things. And when I was doing the book tour originally, I would say, I know this sounds like a cliche, I do, but I promise you, this is the time when it's apropos, and this is the time when it really is that. It really is this. The whole thing. I completely agree. Yeah, like boardroom coups and younger siblings and family drama. Impacting what happens and who decides what, and who's your mother is different than my mother, and that is an impact. It's all this wildness, and that's led us to this point.
Yeah, so you have written extensively about the Lakers family drama, the Bus family, LeBron, all of it. But of course, we get this bombshell report on Monday. Yaron, how did that screw your Monday? Just what were you doing when the news broke that the buses had decided to sell, and it seemed like the Bus family as an entire entity decided to sell their stake? Did your alarm bells go off? Wait, hold on. What happened?
Yeah, and by the way, it's becoming a recurring theme now. There was when was the Kushner's? Was that 4 days ago? The Kushner-Iger sale? That feels like already a month ago, right? Was that last week? That's crazy. That happened. That was sort of part one of this. Yeah, yesterday I kind of, sometimes designate, this will be a nice writing day, a nice reporting day. I have some phone calls to catch up on that have nothing to do with current events. And then that happens. And then sort of the, I have some sources I can reach out to, and you start seeing hey, that doesn't pass the sniff test here. Something's all off. So I figure I can kind of make some of my own calls and put out some stuff. Yeah, it's been a bit of a pain in the butt. But it's the Lakers. I'll say this, in a book, not that we care about author stuff, but when you write a book in real time, you're trying to hit a moving target, and maybe I came out a year early or whatever. I think the way it ended with LeBron and with the Lakers, it makes me feel good. The book's going to age well, and that makes me feel good at least.
So, because the timeline of events is pretty interesting, right? Yeah. The siblings vote for the tag along. Wait, hold on. What happens before they learn that Mark Walter has agreed to sell?
I think you have to go back even a year. You got to go back to Jeannie's decision. I think it all traces that, right? I think you got to go back a year to Jeannie's decision to sell the majority of her shares to Mark Walter, right? That's sort of the inciting incident for this, right? So she does that. We've never gotten a good explanation. I might have talked about this with you guys at different points, but we've never gotten a good explanation as to why she did that. Why this woman who had spent her entire adult life talking about the importance of keeping the Lakers in the family, about keeping her father's legacy alive. I'm sure if you can do dive, wouldn't even take a deep dive for quotes. Even today's Google could find those quotes of her talking about that, right? And then all of a sudden she sells the team to Mark Walter, and then we never get an explanation. The answer usually given by people is well, you can't say no, $10 billion. One, she didn't get $10 billion in cash. It was a $10 billion valuation. And Mark Walter already owns, I forget what, 20-something%. And Jeannie didn't sell all her shares. Obviously, it was good money, but this wasn't it wasn't $10 billion in cash was passed through. Jeannie also doesn't have children, right? So there's no one that she has to pass money along to. I'm sure it's nice having money, but Jeannie wasn't lacking for money given what they were getting off the Lakers. So she sells that. The only way that she can sell the team, again, the way we're going to talk about all this stuff. I think I was joking before that now I'm an estate expert. The Bus family trust is set up that it's one entity of 6 votes, right? The 6 children. Jimmy, Johnny, Janie, Jeannie, Joey, Jesse. I think I messed up the order.
Nice.
There. It's pretty good. That was a point where I could really go fast. Like I felt like I would feel like Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting naming his brothers. So if you need 4 to 2, the 2 oldest, Jimmy and Johnny, wanted to sell for years for money reasons. They were done, old or whatever. They want to sell for years. You get the cash, gives it to your kids. The other part I know it's a lot here. The other part to keep in mind is that the way it's sort of a last man standing situation with the trust. So it doesn't pass to grandkids. It just passes to whoever the last of the siblings are alive. We assume Joey and Jesse, being that they're about 30 years younger than their other half siblings. And from there, I guess I should know this. I don't know if they have to sell or just dissolves or whatever, but it's not like it would pass to Jimmy's kids, right? So the best way for him to take care of their kids is to sell, get that cash, pass it down. They wanted to sell. They were in debt, whatever. Joey and Jesse never wanted to. So we were always 2 and 2. Jeannie never wanted to sell. Janie usually followed Jeannie. At some point last year, back to the Mark Walter part, Jeannie decides she wants to sell, right? And they push it through 4-2. I don't know how she got Janie on her side, but she pushes it through 4-2. Joey and Jesse are the 2 votes against it. Sale goes through. Soon after, Joey and Jesse are fired, along with Janie, which again, I'm not really sure what happened with the Janie part. Joey and Jesse are fired. So Jeannie is the last bus standing. She's still the governor. To go back to the question of why did she sell? Armchair psychology, and I'm going to use Baxter Holmes as cover here because Jeannie has threatened to sue me before. But Baxter Holmes reports in that ESPN story that Jeannie once told Jesse, "You shouldn't have been born." Basically, the idea being that Jerry, her father, had an agreement with her mother that we all know he had certain proclivities away from, outside the office, that there wouldn't be any other kids. And this was after, I believe, another half sibling popped into the picture. There's a great Hulu documentary on all this stuff. People wanted the whole deep dive. It's crazy.
That they did. That was their Hulu.
It's wild again.
Yeah.
Wild. So she tells Jesse, you should have been born. I think you can be a little Freudian and say, okay, so why did she sell? The best explanation I can come up with is that she didn't want Joey and Jesse to end up as the last ones remaining. Otherwise, maybe another answer, but that's the best one I can come up with.
And it should be pointed out that those were the 2 that were actively working in basketball ops for the Lakers. Correct. Whereas John and Jimmy, they were out. They were ousted in 2017. Janie, I believe, was just
community relation. Something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And so these were the 2, not only the youngest, but also like I know all the workings of basically the lifeblood of the organization. So that would make sense as far as them being the biggest threat, whereas she was kind of, Jeannie was just overseeing and not really involved in the day-to-day as much.
Correct. And she'd insulate herself after 2017, after her brothers tried firing her. She basically insulated herself, surrounded. And this part you surround your 2 brothers, try to screw you over. What are you going to do? Surround yourself with people you trust. So that became Kurt and Linda Rambis, Rob Pelinka. She and they stopped talking to Jesse and Joey Jesse's on the record with this, I believe, after he was fired. He told The Athletic that he hadn't spoken to Rob Pelinka for about a year, even though Jesse was officially the assistant GM or something. So we bring that all. So that's the whole context here. And this is an irony here that go to the end. The irony here is that Jeannie Buss is basically fighting to hold on to a team. The only reason this sale is going through is because she pushed through the original sale to Walter, right? Yes. If she doesn't push through that original sale, there's no tag along provision or whatever that her siblings could then execute to get her out. So they get the tag along, another sale goes through, Kushner and Iger buy it. Apparently there's this tag along provision, meaning that the other siblings can say, we'll get in on it. They probably like that based on the $12.5 billion valuation. It's a nice cash. I'm going to guess. I don't know. I'm also going to guess they weren't too upset about the opportunity to, get exact revenge on Jeannie and say, see ya.
And so the legal argument here is which supersedes the other? Does the tag along supersede, or does the provision that Jeannie has to remain governor in order for that to happen? They have to maintain the 15% ownership in the team.
Correct. So it's like a chicken or the egg thing. Yeah.
Yep. That's what we're going to see play out, I guess, in some legal drama there. All right. So now let me circle back. And we're going to accept the face value of why just sell to Mark Walter. Well, because $10 billion is $10 billion. Mm-hmm. But why Mark Walter? Because this is the thing that's come up. I was talking to Tom on the phone yesterday. And as I started asking my buddies that work in the finance world. And the first thing they told me was, I can't believe Like, we were all like, where's Mark Walter getting this money from? Like, the finance bros were like, that guy's he doesn't have money like that. And so what we've learned in the last year is two things. Number one, he was floated a bunch of money from the Emirati sovereign fund, Mubadala. But then now through his legal issues with the federal government is that, yeah, he was kind of basically borrowing money from insurers that he owned, which they're allowed to loan out money, and they're allowed to loan out money to your own companies, but there's a limit to how much, and you have to declare it. And so he did that, thus inflating the nature of his business, the size of his business. How do you think all of that slipped through the vetting process?
The short, I don't know, right? That's the short answer. I don't know. I do think it's important to remember that he was in, like we said, he was already a minority owner of the Lakers beforehand. So, and I guess I don't remember where that is in the timeline. I think the Dodgers were his first sports purchase, but I don't remember when the Lakers, when he went in there. But I think once you're kind of in the circle, you're in the circle of time. Do you know it? Do you have it or no?
I don't have it here, but another thing to point out is that Magic Johnson is closely aligned business-wise with Walter. And so it's almost like Jeannie might have seen Walter as kind of keep staying within the family a little bit, is that Magic Johnson, is going to be attached to Walter, and and the group that bought the Dodgers, and then there's the Sparks. Not Sparks.
The Sparks.
The Sparks. Sorry. And so it might seem like, hey, we're selling this chunk to Walter, but he's one of us. He's been with the Lakers for a while, and Magic's in business.
Right. Mm-hmm. Magic's former agent, and it's also in the Genie circle, was the Dodgers president of business operations, came over to the Lakers, came over to be their president of business operations as well. So to your point, yeah.
He acquired 26% in July 2021.
Right. So much after Dodgers, yeah.
I mean, the timeline of events is remarkable. I mean, you mentioned that is that she decided, or she or her people decided that Walter was going to be the guy that they were going to bet on. Is like, if we're going to sell, we're deciding that Mark Walter is the guy that will be the good custodian, the steward of the organization, the crown jewel of the NBA. And what's crazy about this is a little over a year ago, Amin mentioned it, the Walter Group got $10 billion from the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, Mubadala. 2 months later, he buys a majority share of the Lakers from Jeannie Buss. 2 months after that, Luka Doncic says, yep, I'm signing with the Lakers. I'm signing my extension with the Lakers. Everything's good here. A month after that, the Fed seize Walter's laptop and phone. They raid his private plane on a jetway in Chicago. And then a month after that, the NBA and the owners authorized the purchase of Mark Walter to Jeannie for the Lakers. Yeah. And Adam Silver announces in a statement that he's going to be a committed steward and a great addition. So think about that. Adam Silver and the league office agreed to let Walter take over, while ostensibly they had to have known, or maybe they didn't know, that Walter's private plane was raided by the feds and he was under investigation for fraud potentially. And he hasn't been charged. He could be innocent. He might have not done any wrongdoing. But man, Jeannie made a pretty bad bet here. If the goal was to keep this within the Buss family and to make everyone happy, you're going to get your money and we're going to keep this within the Jeannie Buss family. A year later, it all blows up.
I think that's it, right? So the NBA part's fascinating, right? Because somebody should be fired, honestly. A security team or whatever, like the people who the league office, they have connections. You would think they have a way of figuring out, as when they're in the vetting process, hey, is the federal government investigating this person? Like that would be the top of the checklist, that you can have one of your former agents that you have on staff, right? Who's got contacts, like security guys, can make a call and figure this out. So that part for sure, I don't know. I don't understand how that happens, right? That's a weird part. And the genie part, I think that's exactly it. Like she tried, I hate the cliche, but have her cake and eat it too, right? I'm going to sell and I'm going to be governor. And she bet on the wrong horse, right? Because she sold it to, she never imagined that he would have to flip it, get out in a year.
Folks, let me tell you, especially when I was younger, banking sucked. Put this amount of money in to open an account, but we're going to take this amount of money every month. And you were 34 cents over. We're going to charge you $35 in overdraft charges, all this stuff. And you're just giving away money to a bank who was supposed to hold your money. Well, not with Chime. Chime is changing the way people bank. They offer the most rewarding fee-free banking. This is fee-free banking built for you, not like traditional old banks that charge you overdraft and monthly fees. They have thousands of fee-free ATMs. Imagine getting your own money out without having to pay. Incredible idea, right? You're not just switching banks. You're upgrading to America's #1 choice for banking with a Chime checking account. You get 5% cash back on Chime Card in a category of choice like gas or groceries. They also have Spot Me, which lets you overdraft up to $200 fee-free. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/basketball. That is chime.com/basketball. It only takes a few minutes to sign up.
Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services and Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Qualifying direct deposits required. Terms and limits apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Listen to the heartbeat. Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
It's nuts, man, because, again, like you said, you would think that the NBA has connections within the Justice Department, whatever. That's the one side of it. And then the other side of it is, like I said, all the finance people are like, Guggenheim doesn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like, so I find this entire Lakers drama, right? First of all, it's three prongs, right? You've got Mark Walter and his issues. You've got the Buss family and their issues. And then you've got, the guy who's buying this, sight unseen with no bid, no auction, right? In 72 hours and 2 phone calls, is the brother of Jared Kushner. Like, who 2 weeks earlier, not even like a year ago, like he just got done trying to ruin soccer with the same thrive eternal, right? So it's just like all three of these things have led us to this place where late stage capitalism has come and descended on the NBA, because it all comes down to one thing. It comes down to Mark Walters said 10 billion and Jeannie said sold. And then Josh Christian says 12.5 and Mark Walters says sold. And the way I've been describing it, Yaron, over the last couple of days, I said they took one of the crown jewels of sports brands in the world, Yankees, Lakers, Real Madrid, Barcelona,
Cowboys.
what else? Like Cowboys, right? Like that's the S tier of sports brands. And they're treating it like a condo on South Beach. Just buy it, flip it, sell it. Oh, I bought it. It's a great place. Oh, yeah, some guy gave me a bigger offer. All right, well, then I'm selling it. And the only people tasked with getting in the way of this happening, of this stopping this, are all the people who are incentivized to let it go.
I do think that's not in defense. It almost is. It's in defense of Jeannie, which is be funny coming from me, but in defense of Jeannie, and it looks bad for the league. Like Mark Walter, despite what he said in the statement after the sale went through, that like this was a good, what do you say? It was a good investment. I forget his exact language, but it made it seem like this was the goal. Like this was the point was to hold on to this for many years. Like that was very clearly what the idea here was to merge the Lakers and Dodgers and build this behemoth of LA sports. You know, this giant thing where we're working together and optimizing and the TV, all that stuff.
Yes. Except he didn't have the money.
Well, that's a side issue.
That's a big part. Like that's a big obstacle.
But if he never had the money, then that was never a concern of his in the first place. I'll pay you in 10 years, Shohei. It's fine.
Well, isn't that interesting? The Dodgers, like, right, the deferral, like it does. I mean, I know we're basketball, but I've had people flag this with me. So, like, you're like, oh, that kind of, no wonder they came up with this plan. That kind of checks out a little bit, right? How this happened. It's got genius.
You start looking at it and like, oh yeah. And so now the latest news from my soccer chat, my soccer business chat is they're trying to get out of Chelsea, and it's like, oh, this dude is just like the house of cards is starting to tumble, and now he's trying to cash in to basically restitution, protection. I don't know what the reason is. All I know is these are all the behaviors of someone who's like, hey, I owed a lot of people a lot of money, and now I need it. I need to make the call in now, because there's no other logical explanation. This thing was pitched to us as, oh yeah, I mean, the guy, they offered 12.5. How do I say no? And that's not what's happening here at all.
No, Iger gave it away in that one of the California Post interview where he had two interesting quotes. One was the one related to Jeannie, where like she's gonna stay, but I forget. You never know what's gonna happen. Things change. And then the other thing he said, and this only got picked up by a few people, and outside of sports, I felt like a lot of it. What he said, I got a call or something. It was suggested to us that Mark Walter would be open to selling the team.
Yes.
Like, and that to me, like, I mean, I'll connect the dots. I'm guessing it's Adam Silver, right? I don't know if Mark Walter called who first. Like if Mark Walter called Adam Silver saying, I need out, call your boy Iger and Josh Kushner and see if they're interested. If Iger and Kushner said, hey, we're seeing what's going on with Walter, let's call Silver. But clearly this was facilitated in some way.
Can I ask you, because this is kind of one of the juiciest parts of this whole story, is when did Jeannie Buss know that Walter was going to sell? Because Dave McMenamin came out with a report yesterday that said Lakers senior VP of Finance Joe McCormack called for an emergency meeting of the Buss siblings last Monday to discuss a dissolution of the family trust and seeking unanimous approval to lock down all family shares for 4 years under a new trust. And he goes on to report that the meeting was held Tuesday, as in last Tuesday, and there was no mention of the Walter, Bob Iger, Kushner sale.
Yeah, so I think that's the day. I don't know if a meeting happened. I don't know if that happened, but Joe McCormack, who's one of her deputies, called. This is the other part. I meant to bring this up, and thank you for teeing that up, right? When talking about how I'm sure they were more than happy to exact a little revenge here. Like, she had this guy, Joe McCormack, call the siblings and basically say, hey, can we I don't want to tell you why, but can we lock you into this line? It's no big deal, no reason why, just something on our mind here. Don't worry about it. And it kind of raised some red flags. So it's a good job by Dave getting that first. And then the news comes out that the team is being sold. So again,
so what do you think Jeannie was doing there? Was she trying to just make sure that if Walter was going to sell, that the family would be aligned?
I think she was trying to lock it down, even though I guess she feels like even though she feels like this trust thing she has locked in, that she is the Lakers. I think she was probably trying to, see if there was just insurance, for lack of a better, maybe a bad term given the context here, but just some insurance on, get the siblings to agree that, Jeannie stays in control. We're going to keep the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the pitch was, like how she could have possibly pitched them to them. I don't know that part, like what her plan was to convince them to get on board, but it's clearly trying to pull something.
Yeah, because then Monday, Shams has the tweet, and then a couple hours later, there is the legal document that Jeannie has drawn up. And there's a couple of things I want to read from it because it's just too good. The first paragraph.
This is important. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Is her accusing Joey and Jesse of continuously leaking to Shams. And how they go to Shams and they get bad news out there, a years-long pattern, a malicious purpose of doing harm to Lakers. And then she calls herself Dr. Buss's chosen successor, which is just mwah.
The prince who was promised. This is
Rhaenyra,
Queen Rhaenyra.
Outside the sept, spinning out, saying, I am Viserys' chosen successor. And then she cites this document from April 2017, which essentially says, and this is me paraphrasing, that they have to vote for her. That if they do not vote to ensure that she is still the controlling owner of the Lakers, they are in violation of a court order, which now, so what? So now we're waiting on a judge? Like, is all this going to be frozen until it goes back to court?
So, I mean, this is the minority share, right? That's the important part, right? So the Kushner-Iger thing, like that's a separate deal.
Done.
That's done. I don't, to the point of like, does Jeannie remain governor of this? I don't know. It would, and we haven't gotten any clarity. I genuinely don't know what the language was. Say this didn't happen, right? Are the Iger and Kushner, are they required to keep Jeannie on as governor? Was Jeannie's original deal with Walter include the equivalent of like a tag along where like, even if the team sold, I remain governor? I don't know. I don't think we know that, right? So I don't know if, to the point, like, do they have the ability, Iger and Kushner, to say, okay, cool, you guys might want to fight it over this. We don't care. Like, you're not governor, so you can fight over the shares, whatever. You guys want to fight over 17.6% and whether that's sold or not, cool. But just, you're no longer the governor. I don't know what the paperwork is on that, right? And to me, that's an important part. But yeah, I joke like, so I went to a Jewish high school. We did a lot of Talmud, and this sort of reminds me of that. We're like, well, the first step says this, but this document says this, and which one do you go with? And it's really, that's exactly what it is, right? Like, they say a tag along. She says, I'm required to be the governor because I am the governor, like I am the Lakers, right? And I can't pretend to know how, like, what the legalese of that is and how that would play out. All I know is the last time Jeannie enlisted this lawyer, she won. So I don't know, whatever that means.
It's a lot.
So it's like, is there a physical object? Is there a throne? Is there a set of keys
might as well be, right?
to the crypto.com arena? Like, is someone actually in possession of an object that has not been transferred that imbues ownership? Or is this all going to be frozen? Like, is Adam Silver going to have to make a decision here? Is it going to go to court? It's so messy and it's so delicious. And it happened in August.
It's sad for Jeannie. Like, again, I'm not to be a Jeannie apologist, but like, there's something sad here. Like, first of all, she had a great reputation. Like, what are you doing to the family legacy? And even now, what are you holding on to so you can be the governor for a few more years? You're going to go to court again? Like, what? It's just, there's a sadness to this, or a sad ending to this. I don't know why. I don't know the root of it. I don't know the root of what's going on. Maybe it's Jay Moore's fault. I don't know.
Yaron, you said like your book is kind of the closing of a chapter, and I know last week with the Kushner Iger sale feels like forever ago. What really feels like forever ago is LeBron leaving, and so I wonder how much do you think LeBron wanted to divest himself of this mess?
I would say this isn't a full answer. I can only imagine what LeBron and Rich Paul. Why we don't get Rich Paul podcasts now? Where are they? I would love to hear a Rich Paul podcast.
Where's the whiteboard?
Max? What are they doing? Yeah, they're taking a vacation. This would be, because I feel like there'd be a bit of a victory lap there, and I imagine they're sitting there being like, "Thank God we're out of here." I think my take on LeBron leaving, like I think it was more just he wanted to be paid. He wasn't going to take a pay cut to play for Jeannie Buss and the Lakers. It's kind of like, I'll take a pay cut to play for someone else. After all what I put you through, all what I've done for you guys, I'm not gonna do that. Now is the order of operations. Sort of like, you'll let your girlfriend get away with things that you won't let your wife get away with. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like that. too much equity built in there.
I remember Arash Markazi had a tweet yesterday that was like, "This is the final act of a wild reality TV show." When the Buss family news happened, and then Jeannie comes in over the top and is like, "Nope,
not so fast, my friend."
No,
we got a whole other season of this shit. So Yaron, you feel like you have enough material for a second book, a follow-up?
Yeah, but again, like I have to like do a crash course on insurance and estate law and all this other nonsense. Like, I go back. I'm gonna have to go to grad school to understand this new world.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. This is obviously going to continue throughout the summer. This whole drama, family drama. It's called A Hollywood Ending: The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. Yaron Weitzman, thanks so much for coming back on here as a truth teller. Until next time.
Thanks, guys.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays. And just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes. They put you on hold. Your doctor doesn't take your plan. Game over. We see you. So we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc. Search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly. No cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.
The Viore Core Short moves with you. With everyday versatility and classic athletic fit. It's the one short for everything your day brings. Invest in your happiness and get 20% off your first purchase at viore.com/core20. That's VUORI.com/KORE20. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.